Hey, what's up everybody, Platform Disciple here. You're probably pretty surprised to see me making a video again. I haven't made a video for a very long time, and there was no reason to really expect that I would start making videos again because the core content that I was creating was for Infinity Wars, and Infinity Wars is fundamentally dead at this point. I'll return to that in a little bit, but I'll quickly mention that I also am in a pretty weird stage of my life. I recently moved and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with my life, basically. I probably need to go to grad school if I'm going to really find a career that I want to spend my whole life doing. So there's a lot of stuff that I am working on right now, basically. And in addition to that, my video editing software broke completely. So there were a couple times where I sat down to make a video and got so frustrated after spending like 2 hours trying to fix it that I just gave up. It wasn't worth buying new video editing software at the time. And that old program was bad and was not going to work, and it still doesn't work. Right now I'm actually using a new software, which is part of an Adobe package that my wife had. So I guess point is that like I have this program now, so I may as well take advantage of it. So yeah, let's quickly return to talking about Infinity Wars and its demise. It was always a dying game from the moment I picked it up. It definitely had a lot of life left in it in terms of like the community and how interested people were in it, and also the general quality of the actual core game. But the people working on the game actively sabotaged the game constantly with, they didn't communicate. They made lots of questionable changes all the time that were bad, or they didn't change anything. Point is, bad decisions across the board, and the nail in the coffin was they tried to launch a new game called Infinity Heroes. That was just a disaster. Basically, they removed the deck building aspect of Infinity Wars. They removed the collecting aspect of Infinity Wars, which were two things that the veteran community were super entrenched in. So that really hurt their chance of succeeding because the established player base didn't want this new game. And there was no way that a person who had never heard of Infinity Wars was going to try to support this game. It looked bad, like visually, just horrible. And if you're expecting people who haven't heard of your game, or people who were already invested in Infinity Wars, to put money into a product that's so unfinished, so bad looking, when there are so many other games out there that are good looking and are better, you'd have to be crazy. Especially when you take into account that it looked worse than Infinity Wars did. Like, if you're going to try to support a new product, it's got to be at least as viable as your existing product, because why would somebody want to switch from their current, at least functional product to one that looks dysfunctional? I do like the idea of rebooting Infinity Wars from the ground up, like changing a lot of cards, changing some game mechanics. Like, one thing they did do that I liked was they reduced the number of characters that could be on the battlefield, which quite frankly is very good. That was a good change, but yeah, they really screwed up. That game's not going anywhere, and that was also the nail in the coffin, because that meant that they had no intention of trying to support their existing game, and their new game looked like it was going to be dead before it even launched. I don't even think it's going to really leave alpha, to be completely honest. So that leads into our next subject, which is that everybody here came here for Infinity Wars content, and I can't make Infinity Wars content anymore because the game is just done. Like, it's done. So I want to make Magic the Gathering content, because that's the game I have the most experience with, the one that I'm still most invested in, and it's the one with the most vibrant community that I think I can maybe gain some new eyeballs on this channel. Hopefully some of you are already interested in Magic. If you've never tried it and don't know much about it but are interested, Magic Arena is their digital client, and it's super, super good. I think that it's probably the best digital card game out there. It's definitely the one that is most worth you trying, because if you compare it to like the biggest games like Hearthstone's kind of on a decline, whereas Magic is on it's surging up. It's becoming more interesting and more worth your time. And compared to smaller games, the smaller games have the same issue that Infinity Wars had, which is that you don't know how much support those games are going to get and really what's going to happen to them. Magic is a game that if you invest your time or money in, it's going to reward you by providing a very good gameplay experience that's going to continue for, as long as I can even imagine. The game Magic has been around for, I think, more than 2 decades now, if you're looking at the paper card game. So it has been tested time and time again to see if the game can maintain its quality, and it has succeeded every time. There have been ups and downs in terms of like the game's quality, but it's never lost its community. And that's one of the things that's most strong about Magic. And I'd like to really support that community by generating more content. Anyways, because Magic is such a big game, there's already a lot of content creators out there. So I need to find my niche. And I think my niche is going to be talking about game design philosophy in Magic, because I don't think there are many people who are doing that. And I think I have a lot to offer when it comes to that. Whereas if you compare it to something like competitive Magic, quite frankly, there are players who are just better than me. I think I'm all right in Magic, but in Infinity Wars, I was one of the top players. In Magic, I'm far from the top player. So it's not right for me to lecture you on how to play the game when there are people who are just so much more qualified to talk about that. So I'm going to be talking about mostly custom Magic cards, like cards that don't exist, talking about exploring existing design space in Magic and how that can be interesting. So I'm hoping that at least some of you are going to join me on that journey, but I do understand if you don't want to, because that's not what you came to this channel for. But this channel can't support that content anymore because Infinity Wars is just so done at this point. But anyways, here's hoping that I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm looking to produce that pretty soon, so hopefully I'll see you then. Peace out.